Okay, we are live.
We're live. So, we were a little bit on social media here and emails and everything's blowing up saying about NAR's, settlement, right? So let's talk about it a little bit because there's all these groups are going crazy right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, obviously NAR's been in this lawsuit along with a couple of the brokerages regarding commission structure and what's going to happen. So NAR ended up settling with in the lawsuit and had kind of four kind of like key takeaways from it, and we can kind of go over them.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
And I won't be able to see your screen,
about
right?
that.
Um,
No, but we can kind of go over it. I mean, the first thing is the release liability, which is going to cover release NAR and over 1 million NAR members.
mhm.
There's a couple other brokerages that aren't part of the settlement, so they're going to have to kind of figure things out on their own. Um, and the settlement payment, they're going to pay over 400 million, um, to settle this,
And
and
we,
they
and
deny
where
any
and exactly
wrongdoing.
where, and that
Uh,
they, I think they're going to distribute that within like 4 years, right? Is what it said.
yeah, over 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess a couple things that we were kind of focused on was that compensation offers moved off the MLS
Mhm.
and written agreements for MLS participants acting for buyers. Um, so that's the we can take them one by one, or we can kind of group them together.
Mhm.
Um, the buyer's agreement, then kind of forcing that into play. It's not something we've ever kind of done. I mean, we've
Right.
um,
I feel like some brokerages have at
but
least gotten into
I,
the. Oh, we have a delay. Sorry. um, no, I'm just saying
okay.
some brokerages have gotten into the habit of having that buyer's agreement. So for some, that's not a big transition for having that in place. But with the MLS, they're no longer going to have the commission listed on there, right? So.
Yeah, so that's obviously the bigger one is not having the MLS you know on there. That changes the dynamic of is the MLS still needed? Is are sellers going to see this news and not offer any sort of um, agreement? Are buyers agents now going to have to reach out for every home they show and ask what the
Commission.
co-broke is? Is there any co-broke for
Right. If
every
there is any.
showing? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all those things kind of come into play. All the information has to be relayed to the buyer. So if you have an agreement in place, say you get a certain percentage from the buyer or the seller,
Mhm.
the buyer needs to know which home is offering which commission to the buyer's agent, and that may affect their decisions on which house they want to proceed with or not. All these kind of things come into play now.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely shake up the industry as a whole.
Absolutely.
Um, Buyers agents are going to have to really show their worth.
Mhm.
Um,
And do you
and
foresee
provide.
this? I know it's hard to say, but with
Yeah,
I guess the agreement
yeah.
with the buyers and would it be commission based or flat fee? When it comes to these buyers agreements, or I guess
Yeah,
it's
I guess it all depends on the agreement. Everything is negotiable.
that's true.
Everything's always was negotiable. Now it's
Even
more of
more.
a negotiation between the buyer and the buyer's agent.
Mhm.
Um,
So it's a
it's
matter
gonna
of
be
like
hard for buyers that don't have the funds to make up the don't have um
Yeah. Yeah. Just that
ability to pay
additional.
a buyer's
Mhm.
broker. So that yeah, I mean, so that we could probably go see the homes through the listing agent, open houses, stuff like that, but they won't have an advocate on their side, and they'll be first time home buyers are going to be lost. They're still going to
Right.
be
So it really is a
um,
case by case situation. It's not.
yeah.
Well, it's definitely different.
Yeah, discussions. Yeah, discussions to be done before any showings. Discussions to be done after. When you put the contract in. Do you put an offer in with a co-broke, even if the listing agent's not offering one?
Right.
Um,
Because, even if you were to factor that in and have that higher offer to, make up for the difference, the home may not appraise, and something to
yeah,
think about. Yeah.
appraisal issues.
Hmm.
Um, obviously, um, I obviously their main one of the main goals, I guess, for Department of Justice is to lower the prices of homes, right? Try to bring it down.
Hmm.
But I don't think this kind of does that. In effect, the price of the home is always dictated on how much the buyer is willing to pay, not so much how much the seller is willing to sell for.
Right.
Um, so this doesn't change that. If the buyer can afford such and such, then that kind of stays.
Sure.
Um,
Okay. And this goes into effect in July?
yeah, this is July this year. Um, I'm kind of curious, kind of what other realtors kind of think about whether. I know we looked on some Facebook groups. We looked on Reddit. There's um,
Yeah. I mean, it's
definitely
definitely
some interesting
very,
feedback going on.
yeah. I mean, for let's put a positive spin on it. Is there a positive spin when it comes to
Yeah.
this? I've seen a lot of, it's not the end of the world, but I think it affects a whole lot of enchiladas.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could. Positive spin. The positive outlook on it is if you're a buyer or seller, you're now keenly more aware where all the commissions are being dealt, which I think was definitely the goal of the settlement.
Hmm.
Um, it's just now buyers are going to obviously they're going to come up with their down payment, closing costs, and now possibly buyer agents
I just that's
do
hard
your
to say
commission.
feasible. Honestly, like that's just a reach
Yeah,
and a half. Not to say that it's
uh,
not possible, but it's
I,
just definitely,
it's
yeah.
not. It's no, it's definitely more upfront cost than buyers are used to. Um, if they have, say, I'm going to say via USDA, something with 0% down, and then if you had the seller cover some closing costs, you still
Hmm.
might have to bring some money to the table. Um, so there's definitely going to be some consequences to this action.
I just
Then
feel like
I guess there's still fallout between the other
buyers have been
brokerages.
challenged, quite a bit in this market recently, and this just really adds to it. Um, but yeah, I mean, the good thing, like you said, with the agreements, the communications up front, right? And then,
Yeah,
just having that buyer's agreement too, that loyalty and because people do hop around here and there, and that's a practice we really haven't done. We really haven't done buyer's agreements. We figure if you're going to go with someone else, that's fine.
yeah.
But
I know it's something we have, but now it will become standard practice, I assume, for our office, and we'll have to do a lot of educating. I think that's going to be the key thing. I think we discussed making some videos explaining what these settlement does to
how it affects the
what should buyers
sellers, how it
expect, what
affects
should
the
sellers
buyers,
expect.
yeah, like all the parties involved
Um,
for sure.
you
And
know,
it's I guess being creative
will the
with your
more
offers.
you know, yeah, maybe the mortgage industry changes a bit, and maybe the commission can be lumped into the mortgage. That's an possibility.
Yeah.
Um, but that thing with the whole that would have to change on their side. Um,
Right.
yeah.
That's
Let's look at some
and
comments.
for the realtors that are out there,
Uh,
we're streaming live right now on StreamYard, and I think this is going live to YouTube. I'm on TikTok.
yeah, so
TikTok
we're
is a
live
behind
on.
the scenes, huh?
Yeah,
But no, it's just
yeah,
like a
behind the
great
scenes on
view.
TikTok, but yeah, we're live on Facebook,
Yeah,
live on YouTube, and live on Instagram.
yeah,
So any sort of comments or questions
yeah.
can be
So
put
sorry
in
if we can't
there.
see it at the moment, but we will
Uh,
go back and take a look. Um, yeah,
yeah.
it's. I mean, this conversation is just beginning.
Um,
It's just breaking news for today, and
mhm.
I guess being prepared for the shift and how it's going to affect people and educate the best we can and and for everyone really, for all parties involved.
Yeah, and we'll I guess have to see how this kind of shakes out. If the MLS fee can't be on MLS, how will the communication work? Will it be just texting the listing agent finding out? Will it be something maybe private remarks, um, or even some sort of secondary site non MLS related that has the commission listed, if there is
Yeah.
any.
Hmm.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, there's some lot
Sure.
of great discussion going on. A lot of people are focused on make sure you have buyer agreements in place, explaining what they are, explaining if the seller's not contributing, the buyer needs to make up the difference, that sort of deal. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, and
yeah,
then for a seller
um,
standpoint, if you do offer that, then of course the listing is a little bit more attractive, right? And it helps the buyers out with the concessions. So there are definitely options here to work around and work with, but it's just the communication right at the beginning, which should be held anyway.
yeah. So let's see. One of the comments is, "This is just a new distraction to the industry, going along with discount brokers, Zillow, iBuyers. Don't get caught up in the hype. Understand information, adjust, and continue to do
I
what's
mean, adjusting is what we have to do
what's
all day,
educated.
every day anyway, right? I mean, because the things will, are never the
Right?
same.
No two deals
So,
are the same.
yeah.
No,
Oh, so it's just a matter of
no
rolling
day is
with
the
it.
same. Really, every day is yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
of course, you can see like on um, the headlines are out there um, about you know, commissions on home sales being dead, home prices will drop. All those things are kind of on CNN, New York Times, stuff like that. Um, so people are going to ask questions, and you need to be explaining how this new wave of real estate is going to work.
Yeah, and especially for agents that's specific. I can't talk or specific on being a buyer's agent. That their whole every day is just working with buyers. So that's definitely something that's going to have to be um, adjusted. You I know there's a slight delay. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We'll work through the any sort of delay. Um,
And I think the main thing too is like
as
just
you said,
getting
this is
the
kind of breaking news.
what's that? I was saying I
Go
think it's
ahead. Go
good.
ahead.
I think it's good that we're just getting the news out there right now, even if we don't know everything about it. There's a lot of articles to come, but
Mhm.
it's important. It's definitely newsworthy, right?
Yes. Yes.
um, so yeah, anything else on this? I mean, obviously it can go on forever, but I'm just
Um, we can go in forever.
any more comments or anything that you saw. I don't
I
have
think
anything
I
open.
see. I just think I think end with the note of real estate's always a changing, evolving business,
Uh-huh.
never the same. The way we do real estate now is not how we did it, a couple years ago. It's not how we did it 10 years ago. So this is just the next iteration of it. You have to just be able to adjust,
Mhm.
and see how what the next steps will be and how it will affect other realtors and how it affects buyers and sellers, and go from there.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay.
And,
Well, I think that's it for
yeah,
today,
that's
and
it. So,
we'll be here if you have any questions.
have a great day, guys, or happy weekend.
Thank,
It's Friday.
thank, yes.
Let's see.